also have 811813108. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining the Gitters Hope.
Thank you.
Please kindly still share the link to your loved ones and your friends that we're about to start the program anytime from now.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh, bago.
Please kindly get your right button. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me send this link to the people. Mind this thing, I think mind this thing. Off it. We are live now. Start joining. No, we don't start to. Please, I know class.
Who's busy? What did you?
Yes.
Where are you joining us from?
From Anambra State.
Okay. Thank you for choosing the Gitters Hope. And also we have 84811813108.
Good evening. I'm here. Good evening.
Good evening. You're welcome to the Gitters Hope. Please, where are you joining us from?
Oju River, from Enugu State.
Sorry?
I'm joining from Enugu State, Oju River.
From Enugu State. Okay. Thanks for joining the Gitters Hope.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's proceed. Once again, you are all welcome. My name is Faith. I'll be your moderator today. Okay, and please, like I said earlier, let's get our writing materials ready for tonight's program.
Okay.
It's going to be awesome. So this is an online tech training platform. Like we all know, to the glory of God, we are trusted by many. And our training are customized or tailored for beginners and advanced computer users as well.
Okay.
All right. So we are privileged to have one of the seasoned instructor who has graduated over 6,000 students in this tech field all over the world with 19 years experience to say. So, and around the world, we have a lot of programs that we do offer here in Digitesi Hub. which he has already also graduated those students from, like cyber security. We have data analytics and data science, web development, graphic design, Sage 50, AutoCAD, Office application, and so on and so forth. So he is a well-experienced facilitator, and I promise you are going to enjoy tonight's class, so to say. Just get yourself ready, and if it's out of your time, please kindly also inform your friends that we're about to start, your friends, your loved ones, whosoever you want to partake from this program. Please kindly do so by informing them.
Okay.
And you joining us, you are not going to regret it. So let's proceed. What makes DigitalZ Hub unique? What makes us unique? We have integrity. Once we say we have a program, unlike other platforms, although they will organize the program, but along the line, what you really want to learn from that platform, you won't get it at the end of the day. Unlike DigitalZ Hub, we will give you whatever we tell you that we have in stock for you, and that is what we do. So that is why we have our integrity, and we are also consistent with our training too. We are consistent in our training. We offer both locally and international certificates after the training, based on request. All right. So our mode of training, like we know, we train live via Zoom, purely online program. So we train live via Zoom. So you can also contact us at www.digitalz.com.ng. Also, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at DigitalZ Hub to get more of our videos based on the classes we do offer. Also, we'll also urge you to also follow us on Facebook at DigitalZ Academy. Then likewise on TikTok at digitech.zeal.hub. So once again, thank you for joining DigitalZ Hub. You're all welcome. Please do get yourself ready, and mind you, while we are preparing for this training, please let's mute our devices.
Yes, sure.
Let's mute our devices so that we can enjoy this program. And also for those that do not have the laptop, if you do not have a laptop, it's not a barrier. You can join with your phone. You can join the program with your phone. Okay, so thank you. And also,
Yes.
not so far, time has not yet gone. Like I said earlier, kindly invite your friends, your family, your loved ones that are still out there, that the program is about to start. Thank you for joining the call. 8481181310. Are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still with you. I'm here.
Oh, all right. Please get your writing materials available, please.
I have it already.
Please, your pen, your book, your recorder. Please just make them available. Please share the link to your friends. Kindly share to them. It's a free program. Kindly share the link to your friends, please. Let them be a partaker of this program.
Yes.
All right. So while we are also waiting for our facilitator, please subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos. I'm very sure you won't regret it. You won't regret it. Like I said, we offer a lot of courses. Cyber security, there are courses you can register for. Cyber security, data analytics, data science, web development, design, office application, AutoCAD, Sage 50, and many more. Oikosi, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Please, where are you joining us from?
Thank you.
Where are you joining us from? Can you hear me?
Ma.
Oikosi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm joining from Nigeria.
Where precisely? Sorry if I may ask.
Pardon?
I said where in Nigeria precisely? Which of the states?
Asaba.
All right.
Asaba, Delta State.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Please kindly get your writing materials ready, and please, before the class starts, let's mute so that we can enjoy the program, please. Thank you for joining us.
The class.
8.
A minute.
So, all right, we have to go before we invite our instructor to take over from here. I hope you are all ready with our writing materials, and I hope we've shared a link to our friends, our loved ones, so that they can also partake of this program. So we have a minute to go. We have 1 minute to go. So, all right, like I said earlier, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, Digital Z Hub, and also follow us on YouTube. We also have our website, www.digitalz.com.ng. Then please follow us on Facebook at Digital Zeal Academy. Also,
If from one
at digital.com.
So that you can
Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel on our previous classes.
But I think I knew you on your
And I'm very sure you want to
I don't
we are here to give you the best. Thank you once again for joining us.
Don't go. Wait, I'll go.
If you mute, we are about to start. If it you mute your device, please let's mute so that we can do this class.
Yeah, no, she's not staying on it. Then I knew on it. No, where by Pilaka?
No, something.
If it is overhead,
Let's go.
please mute your device.
Good much get
Please. Shallow, welcome. Hello, you are welcome to the Gideon TV Hub.
Shalom. Maybe Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I pronounce the name properly.
Sharon.
Shalom.
All
Mama,
right.
Shalom.
You are welcome to the Gideon TV Hub. Thank you for choosing us. We're about to start the program. Please kindly share the link rather to your friends, to your loved ones. Tell them we're about to start. Like I said earlier, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, Digitalz Hub. We also have our website, www.digitalz.com.ng. Then follow us on Facebook at Digitalz Academy. Also on TikTok, digitech.zeal.hub. Thank you for choosing Digitalz Hub. Please get your writing materials ready. Kindly get your writing materials ready. If it is Oba Mary, please mute your device. Please, kindly mute your device, please. We are about to start, please. Kindly mute it. The background noise is interrupting us. And like I said earlier, if you do not have a laptop, please, if you have your mobile phone, you can as well join. It's not a barrier. Micho Zedek Kabiesi, you are welcome. Micho Zedek Kabiesi, you are welcome.
Thank you, ma. Good evening, ma.
Thank you so much for choosing Digitalz Hub. Please, where are you joining us from?
From Asaba.
Wow. Thank you for choosing us. Please kindly get your writing materials available.
Okay, ma.
We're about to start, please. Thank you. And please, like I said earlier, let's mute our devices so that we can enjoy the class, please. All right, we are going to start in the next 4 minutes. This is 8:06. By 8:10, we are starting immediately. So please do not log out. We are about to start. And as we are waiting for our facilitator, please share the link to your friends, your loved ones. You won't regret joining this class. I promise you, you won't regret joining this class. And please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Digitalz Hub. Please follow us on Facebook at Digitalz Academy. Also on TikTok at digitech.zeal.hub. Thank you for choosing Digitalz. And like I said earlier, we offer different courses on cybersecurity, data analytics, data science, web development, office application, AutoCAD, Sage 50, graphic design, and many more. So we want you to have a taste of today's class. I believe that a trial will surely convince you and you won't regret joining Digitalz. Thank you for choosing us. We have 2 minutes to go. Please make sure you are ready. HP, you are welcome. HP, are you there? HP, can you unmute and let's hear you? Let's know where you are joining us from. HP, are you with us? We have 1 minute to go. I hope we are all ready for tonight's class. All right. So we're about to start. So permit me to invite our facilitator for tonight, a mentor. Yeah, I call him tech specialist. Yes, he's indeed a tech specialist. So it's an honor to invite the person of Mr. Prosper, our facilitator tonight. Thank you for joining us, sir.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Please, can I find out if you can all hear me? Let me get a response from at least one person.
Yes, sir.
All right. So just before we start the training, I just want to, just like she have duly highlighted, I still want to throw more lights in some things I want us to compose and set on in order for us to have a seamless training. This is Digiteze Hub, as she have rightly introduced. This is 100% an online tech training platform where we hope to reach out to or to bridge the gap, because we do understand that there are a lot of persons, because of their locations, they are not able to connect to the conventional training center. So this idea came up in order for us to reach out to individuals, organizations, irrespective of their location. Right, so on this platform, we offer training that cut across basic computing, intermediate, advanced, and professional program. So some of the program we offer here are cybersecurity, data science, data analytics, engineering drawing using AutoCAD, UI, UX design, Python programming, and then the computer fundamental, just like the one we are just starting its journey tonight. And I'm so excited that we all make it to this section. Please, if your device is not yet muted, Please kindly do that. Kindly do that. Okay. All right. I hope you all can still hear me very well. All right. So I'm excited, particularly that you made it to this section, because you are on the right path to get yourself prepared for the jobs, I call them soft job opportunity in 2026. So this is our own way of empowering individuals. This is our own way of showing our seasoned love to the people out there. So this is our own way of saying happy Christmas and New Year in advance. So this is not the regular free training. This is masterclass, but it is totally offered to you free. So please, if you have a brother, you have a sister, you have any colleague that has not joined, I would advise you, if you are in the WhatsApp group, you kindly send them the link, because they are about to miss something very important. All right. So without taking much of our time, I have advertised some time ago in the group that there are some unannounced benefits for joining. So we deliberately decided to keep it off from you guys. So I have someone who joined, who happened to be the first person to join today, and I have the scholarship for the person. Let me check if the person's name is still here, except if he has left. If he is no longer here, I don't think if he is here. If you are here, kindly signify. Do I still have Ify here? Oh, unfortunately, he has left. Wow. I want to offer a free masterclass on Python programming, which I'll be starting very early January 2026. Fortunately, it's not here.
He's logging back.
Okay, so let me see if he can join back. He was the first person to join. This will also happen. I don't know. Let me not say it's and everybody that made it to this section before the end, of you stay to the end, I want to assure everybody certain benefits. Anybody who made it to this section. Well, I will just continue. Peradventure, he joined. Please, somebody should unmute and notify me. I'm talking about whether Mr. Ify, he had joined this platform since 7:40 or 7:39, which is very encouraging. All right, so put that on notice. I want to sincerely welcome every one of us once again to Digital Z Hub. Like she said, I would like every one of us to subscribe to our YouTube page. So I will just show you how the YouTube page look like. So as you can see, so that you know that there are a whole lot of resources you can actually benefit. So you can see a lot of classes cutting across data analytics, Python programming. These are all master classes across different programs. So we have over 300 recorded master class already published in our YouTube page. So I will advise you to subscribe at Digitech Z Hub. Just go to YouTube and type Digitech Z Hub. Then when you get there, please feel free to subscribe to that YouTube page as we continue to upload video that may concern you as it may. All right, so without taking our time, this section, I want to welcome us officially again to a 3 days computer mastery. 3 days computer mastery or computer usage. Just to give us a map of what we intend to cover within these 3 days, that is tonight, tomorrow night again, and Sunday nights. this night I'm going to be focusing on two aspects of computing, which are very fundamental. That is the area I am going to be focusing on tonight. I am going to take us through the journey of general introduction to computer. So this is actually for persons who have never been trained properly before in the world of computing. If you fall in that category, and I will also advise you, even if you have graduated from a computer training center, I can assure you, you still have a lot to learn in tonight's section. Like I said, I'm going to be blending two very fundamental aspects of computing together. So the very first one is what we know as computer appreciation. Computer appreciation. So I'm not going to assume that some of us here understand this. So I'm going to teach us as if you know nothing about computing. I'm going to train us tonight as if this is your very first time of entry or breaking into tech. So if you are here and you are familiar to some of the terms I'm going to use, just keep following. I know somewhere in between, you will definitely learn something, right? So I'm also going to blend us with Microsoft Windows, all right? So these are the two aspects of computing that I'm going to be talking about pari passu. So I'm going to be aligning you with the general introduction to computer appreciation and also the Microsoft Windows. All right, so let's quickly start with the very first aspects. The very first aspect, like I said, is general introduction to computing. General introduction to computing. So there we are going to start with what is computer? What is computer? So at some point, I'm going to break it down for you to know that there is a thin line separating computer from computing. So we'll get to know all of this. So let's quickly dive in and understand what computer is. So what is computer? So computer is an electronic device which accepts data as an input. So I want us to take note of some of the keywords that I will be using. I said computer is an electronic device that processes data and performs tasks according to the set of instructions. According to the set of instructions. The keyword there, according to the set of instruction. I'm coming back. So those instructions are referred to as programs. They are referred to as programs. So in the world of computing, when somebody used the word instruction, it will also mean programs. And just to simplify it, the word program means sequence of command, which are also known as the instruction. Sequence of command designed or program to perform either a specific task or to perform general purpose tasks. So it takes input. So how does it operate? How does the computer operate? There is what we call the computer operational cycle. The computer operational cycle. In other words, where does it start from and where does it end? So for example, if I have to give the computer instruction, it requires me utilizing one of its hand or one of its peripheral. All right. So as I proceed, we get to understand some of these terms that I'm using. So there is a point called input. Input. Now, the input unit is that very unit that is responsible for taking in data to be processed into the computer brain, which is called the processor. So just to break it down, for those of us that, even your laptop, for those of us that have seen the desktop computer, you will agree with me that if you check the back, there is a section called the BIOS. The BIOS. The BIOS means basic input and output system. Basic input and output system. Now, which means that it is a dedicated unit. That is even on your laptop by the side, that is where you have different ports. Some of the ports are for connecting USB. Some of the ports, they are for connecting sound, like speaker. Some of the ports, they are for connecting projector, VGA. So the whole of that section is called the basic and output what? Basic input and output system. So what it simply means is that it means that there are devices that are known as input devices. So where I'm going to now is where I'm trying to explain when I said it takes input as data. So there are devices that are recognized as input devices. So what is the responsibility of these devices? These devices are meant to assist the computer. The first under what we call the peripheral that are designed to assist the main units of the computer system in order to what? To supply the computer or the CPU, which is also known as the central processing unit, information or data to process. So there is no way you can compute without going through the input units. All right. So now that we understand, let's look at some of the examples of these input units. Under the input unit, that is where we have the keyboard. That is where we have the mouse or the mice. That is where we have devices like light pen, joystick. All right. We have scanner. All this falls under the input devices. So a summary of them before I shift my attention to the next unit is that these are devices that are basically used to feed the central processing unit information to process. All right. Now, let's take the definition further. After data, in other words, the input here represents what? The data that you are supplying through any of those input devices that I just explained. Now, after the comma, I further explained that processes it using hardware and software and produce. Let me stop at processing it. Now, between the inputs and the outputs, there is a unit called the processing unit. And the work of that unit is responsible for encoding and decoding whatever information that must have been passed in through the input. All right. So that is where we have our processor. The processor is a very micro device inside the system unit. And what is the primary role of the processor? The processor is like the brain of our body system. Now, if you look at the way your brain functions, you will agree with me that your brain have a system that allows you to receive information. And then once the brain have received the information, the brain will now begin to analyze the information. That is where the time processing comes from. So there can never be word processing without the engagement of the processor. So the activities of the processor is what give birth to what we know today as word processing. So we need to get this right. So when you say you are a computer literate, you should be able to speak these terms. You can go for an interview and they can throw questions on you. That what do you understand by the word input devices? Now remember what I pointed out here. There is difference between input units and input devices. The input devices are the what? The objects like the mouse itself, when it's not connected, is referred to as what? The input device. Now, the input unit is that particular port where you are connecting the mouse to. Is a unit designed to receive the input. So let's go back to the processor. Let's go back to the processor we were talking about. So the processor has two signal, or let me say what, two virtual units. It has a unit that helps it to what? To write, in other words, to register the given what? Instruction through any of those input devices. It also have a storage or a unit that helps it to what? To decode it and allow you to what? To view it via any of the output devices. So that takes us from the input and the processing. We are talking about the computer processing cycle, which are three. The input unit, that is where you supply the raw data. Then the processor takes over to modify them, to process them, to become meaningful information. Now, once the processor is done with the processing, is designed to pass it on to another unit. And that unit is what I've explained here as what? And produces output, which is known as information, All right. So now, logically, each time, for example, you are using Microsoft Word, you type in a letter and you format it, and then you send it towards a printer. What you are logically saying is that that particular information you are about to receive as the end result has passed through what? Two different what? Stages. The input stage, the processing stage, and then the output what? Stage. Now, the quality of this outcome depends on the quality of the knowledge you have on the application you are using. So that is one of the reasons why DigitalZ have discovered, because one of the motivating factor, what actually motivated us to embark on this free training, particularly on the Computer Foundation, is that I discovered that most of the students that I'm currently training on data analytics, cybersecurity, I discovered that they are having issue with the basic. So probably somebody did not educate them properly. So you are supposed to acquire this training so that you'll be grounded at the basic before you can actually do better with the advanced program. So I want you to take this very serious. So with that whole explanation, I believe I have done justice towards the definition of the computer. What are the key takeaways here before we shift our attention to the next topic? Now, you should know that computer is an electronic device, which means that it is a device that works or that power itself from electricity. That is the meaning. Now, you also know that the computer has three stages, three processing stages. That is the inputs, and there are devices responsible for carrying out the input what operation. Now, you also know that there is a unit in between the input and output, which is the processing. That is where you have the processor. That is where you have the random access memory, which is also known as a volatile storage. So as we proceed, because of the time, I'm trying to catch up with what I actually plan to cover. All right. So now let's quickly talk about the key features of computer. Let's talk about the key features of computer. Now, when we say features, what we are simply saying is the attributes or the characteristics, what actually makes this the computer that you and I today love so much. So let's quickly talk about those features in a second. All right. So the key features of computer are, number one, we have the input. So I've almost explained some of them in the course of breaking it down. We have the input, which means what? To receive data and instruction, e.g. via keyboard, mouse, and scanner. There are a lot of them, but these are the basic ones. Now, another key feature of the computer is the processing. The processing. So the processing means or uses the central processing unit, which is generally known as central processing unit, to perform calculation and logical what? Operation. There is no computer device, being it your phone, which is part of computing. There is no part of it that does not have a brain, or which is called the processor. Now, we also have the outputs. We have the outputs. So the outputs is the monitor, like the example I'm giving here, because I know some of us, we are familiar with this. The outputs, they are devices that produces the result of what you have processed, what the processor has worked on. So for you to see it, the end result, you need the output devices. Then the storage, the computer also have several storages. In other words, where the computer saves its what? Process information. All right, so we have the SSD, which is, or the temporary storage, which is also known as the random access memory, as RAM. Then we have the automation, work automatically once programmed. So once the programmer program it, it can actually work automatically. All right. Now we have the computer is also very versatile. That is what the versatility. So it can perform many types of tasks, such as word processing, gaming, internet browsing, and so many other. So a computer, in summary, a computer is a data processing machine that converts raw data into useful information. All right, so I'll give room for questions towards the end of the training. So just, if you have any question, kindly note it down. Then once it is that time, then you bring them up. All right, so let's quickly talk about, now we know what computer is. We have also understood some of its features. Now let's talk about some of the categorical parts that makes up the entire object called a computer. So that will now take us to part of computer. So I have tried as much as possible to use a diagram to represent them for us for better understanding, right? So, but I'm going to be paraphrasing while you focus on the diagram. But everything I'm going to explain will actually zero within the diagram. All right. So now I said categorical grouping of the entire computer system. Now, if we go by acknowledging the part of computer, one after the other, that can take what? Hours. So the entire object that we refer to as computer can be broken into three parts. The first part is the hardware. The hardware are the physical parts we can see and touch. So once you are in the computer lab, any of its parts you can see, touch, we refer to that as what? The hardware. For example, the hardware is now further broken into what? Two parts. We have the basic hardware, and then we have the optional hardware. The basic hardware are the compulsory hardware. For example, there is no way you can effectively use the computer without bringing the keyboard, the mouse, the central processing unit, and the VDU, visual display unit, together. It's going to be difficult for you. Though we have experts today that can type with the mouse with the help of the inbuilt window keyboard. But that is not to say that the stand alone, the hardware, the keyboard, can be done away with because the speed cannot be compared with it. So we have the keyboard, the mouse, the VDU, and the CPU as part of the basic part of the computer system. In other words, they are the primary. All right. So if you are using a laptop, you may want to ask, so where are these four parts? The one that is sitting on your desk, that represents the central processing unit. While the keyboard is directly sitting on it. And then the one that is acting as a clamp share, the one you close, is standing as your VDU, visual display unit. So you can see that what the four parts, they are within laptop. Only that laptop is a mobile computer, while the desktop dealers is like a stationary computer. They all have this basic hardware. All right. So of course, the keyboard is an input device. Now you can see how I am defining them now. The keyboard is an input device that is used to feed the computer data like alphabets, numbers, and special characters. Now, the mouse is also an input device that is also used to feed the computer information, but instruction majorly. All right. For example, by the time we get to the window aspect, you're going to see how I'm going to use the mouse to be shutting down the system, using the mouse to move the icons, using the mouse to instruct the computer with different instructions. All right. All right. So we also have. So we also have the mouse. If you look at the mouse, you have three buttons. The middle one is called the scroll button. Right? Now, this very one is called the left button, while this one is called the right button. Now, let me explain something to us here. There are some computer terms that you discover that computer experts uses when they are operating these devices. If I am not physically where you are, the moment I hear you using the word click, double click, scroll, I already know the device you are using. I know that those languages, they are terms or they are languages of the mouse operation. So when you press any of these two buttons once, that is referred to as clicking. Now, the function of that clicking is that you are executing a command. That's what it means. Now, when you double click, you don't double click the right button. Double click is only used for the left button of the mouse. So double click is like you are gaining access. That clicking is just like you are knocking the door. You are just selecting. All right. Let's take note of this. That the mouse has what? Three buttons. When we are dealing with the optical mouse, the modern mouse we have today, they are referred to as optical mouse. These are mouse that are surface friendly. Gone are those days whereby you have to get what we call mouse pad. There is a kind of a square shape in material that you have to place on the table before your mouse can easily revolve around the screen. But today, even on your lap, you can place this optical mouse because they have very high sensor compared to the other type. All right. So now let's talk about the next. Sorry, I think I have to move back to. So we are still on the part. So I've just explained the mouse now as one of the basic parts of the computer system. So let's quickly go. Let's talk about the keyboard, because why I am spending my time to explain this basic, as someone who is breaking into tech for the first time, it is expected that he or she should understand these devices, because these are the peripherals. These are the first devices you are going to be using to command the computer. So it is very important you have comprehensive knowledge of them. Now, still on the basic, the keyboard. The keyboard, like I said, is an input device. And if you look at the keyboard, fortunately, I'm not able to show the keyboard, but after the class, you can go to Google and search for computer keyboard picture, and then you confirm some of these things and we'll talk about. So the keyboard actually have 3 sections, but for those of us that are joining with laptop, you can confirm some of these things I'm going to be talking about. So if you are currently looking at your keyboard, the keyboard has 3 main sections. We have a section that is called alphanumeric. So if you look at this, just like a trapezium, if you trace it from, if you bypass the tab, the cap lock, the shift, if you go round to from Z, A, Q, and then to 1, and then you take it to where you have a 0, to where you have P, and then you bring it down to where you have LM, and then connect it back to Z. The whole of that section that looks like a trapezium is called the alphanumeric keypad section. Now, please, I want us to understand this. There's a difference between keyboard and keypad. Keyboard is the entire board that is holding the keys, while keypad, they are the individual buttons you have on the keyboard. All right, so we can say that a keypad is faulty, which means that what one of the pad is not working. But we can also say that what the keyboard is faulty and what the entire board is faulty. So the next section of the keyboard is the functional keypad section. That is the section you have at the top where you have, if you are joining this class with your laptop, I want you to look at the very first line at the top where you have F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 down to F12. The whole of that section where you also have scroll, pause, insert, delete, escape, the whole of that line is called the keyboard word, a functional keypad. Now, those functions, the F1, the F2, the F3, they have their own different design functions across different applications. If you are using Microsoft Word, for example, the function of F2 will be different from if you are using Microsoft Excel. So let's get that understood. So the functions are not constant. They vary depending on what the application you are using. Now, of course, the last section of the keyboard is what we call the dependent key or the special key, the dependent key or the special key. Now, the dependent key, we are talking about those keys that relies on other keys before they can function. For example, you must have had computer users using the term Control plus S, which means that there is a special key called Control that depends on S before it can perform a function, depending on the application you are in. All right? Okay, so please just give me 1 minute. All right, so I hope we are still following the class. So once again, I welcome you to Digital Z Hub, where I don't know if Ify has joined back. I wanted to give him, he happened to be the first person to join. So I have a special package for you. So Ify, if you have joined back, please kindly unmute and speak out. All right, so let's proceed. We're talking about the basic hardware because they are very important. They are very important. As a matter of fact, that is where you start your journey from. You need to take time to understand this part of the computer peripherals. All right, so I've explained much on the keyboard. Now let me talk about another basic input, which is the VDU, Visual Display Unit. Visual Display Unit. So the visual display unit, as the name implies, visual display unit, the entire part of the computer has just one place that allows you to monitor, to know what is going on. The visual, which is the what the layman will call the computer monitor. Right? So that word is derived from its function. It actually helps us to monitor what the CPU is processing. All right? So it is also an essential part of your computer system, the VDU. Now, there are two types of VDU, either by shape or by display. We have VDU by shape, by display. By shape, we have flat screen and desktop dealers. Desktop dealers are those ancient days, let me use the word monitor. The one that have tail, like all those black and white television. Those ones they are faded out. I don't think anybody is using them. So those ones are classified under what? Desktop dealers by shape. Then by shape, we also have flat screen. The modern ones we are using, these ones are very light in weight, that are office decorative. They are referred to as what? The flat screen. They consume less current or voltage, right? So that's you can study their differences, their advantages. But mere looking at it, or mere looking at the flat screen has more advantages to the current dispensation. Now, apart from that, the flat screen has their own disadvantage. Disadvantage is that they are very expensive compared to the desktop dealers. All right, now let's look at the VDU by color, by display. So by display, we have monochrome and then we have colored. Of course, I don't think there is anywhere you're going to find the monochrome. The monochrome are the black and white, which both color are referred to as what? One color. Now, that's just to tell you where the whole journey started from. All right, so you can go and read history of computer. You get to know more of this. All right, now let me quickly talk about the next basic part before I move on. We have the CPU, Central Processing Unit, which is the main part of the computer system that constitutes the logical units, which is called the ALU, arithmetic and logical unit, and the storage. All of these, the processor, they are within the what? The CPU. That is why it's called central. That is what all the peripheral other ones connect to it. Is the one that disseminates instructions. That is why if you don't connect your keyboard, your mouse to the system unit, you may not be able to what? They will not be able to get any instructions from the system. All right. So we have spoke much on the hardware, the physical part. Of course, the optional hardwares are the printer, the speaker, those parts that you can do away with for the meantime. The first under what? The optional hardware. So let's quickly talk about another major part of computer, which is the software, the computer software. As a beginner, once you understand the hardware and their characteristics, the next thing you understand is the software. Now, if I ask us now, since we have defined that the hardware are the physical part, I know you will likely tell me that the software are the spiritual parts. Then you will not tell me if they are the spiritual part, who operate them, how do you operate them? Do you need to speak in tongues before you operate them? No, that is totally wrong. The opposite of hardware can never be used to define what? The software. The software are basically programs, like I've established before, set of instructions, collection of instructions to perform a specific task or general task. They are referred to what? Software. Software are commands. They are instructions that must be downloaded into the system, that must be installed. That is where we get another department from like computer engineers. They are the ones that are responsible for what? Installation of all these what? Softwares. So softwares must be installed into your system before they can be used. When you purchase a laptop, it's as good as empty. It will only come, if it's a new one, it will come with just an operating system, which I'm going to talk about probably in the next 30 to 40 minutes. So now, once you have installed the operating system, then there is need for you to put software. Now, let us know, the software you put in your system depends on your area of what? Operation. If I'm a lawyer, I don't need the software used by engineers. An engineer does not also know the software used by lawyers. All right, so the same thing, if you go to the medical sector, they have their own software that solve problem in that field for them. That is why no matter how good someone is, he can never know everything in computer, because you are only good at the area that you specialize on. I am currently training you. If I leave my area of specialization and go to another aspect within the same computer, I can also be attending lecture like this. That for you is very wide. All right. So I just want us to know that you don't go by installing every software that you come across on your computer. No, that is to show that you are not a good computer user. You are supposed to install software that pertain to your area of what? Specialization. All right. Okay. Now, let's talk about the category of this software. So this software, remember that software are instruction, are command that need to be installed in order to command the hardware, which we just finished talking about, to do what they are designed to do. Now, there are two classes of computer software. In other words, the whole computer software you come across, if you can research after this class and discover that there is any software you can identify that is outside the one I am going to tell you, then tomorrow's session, I will give you room to educate me. I'm also open to learn. Now, we have two categories of software. If a software is not an application software, that software is an operating system software. Let me use that word, or computer software. So how do we now differentiate the application softwares from the system software? The application software, as the name implies, these are softwares that are developed by programmers just for a specific task. So every application software you come across has its own primary purpose written for. For example, WhatsApp. Take instant messaging apps from WhatsApp or teleconferencing for WhatsApp. Is there any other thing again you can do with WhatsApp? No. This app that I'm using to train us now, which is Zoom, is also an example of what? An application. What is the primary purpose of this app? It's just for teleconferencing like this, for connecting people virtually. You cannot come to Zoom now and say you want to type letter. That is not the responsibility of Zoom. So any software that you can trace a specific function to, that should be classified under application software. All right. I hope we are still following. The video will be made available via our YouTube page, and the link will be dropped in the WhatsApp group. If you are not in our WhatsApp group, so make sure that you drop a message on the message section so that I can send you the link, because the video will be uploaded tomorrow morning. All right, so just make sure that you are taking notes. You can take your time later and sit down with the video and digest it before tomorrow evening session. Tomorrow evening session, I'm going to be focusing on word processing using Microsoft Word, blending internet together with it. So make sure that you are in that session. And if you have a friend, please help us to invite as many as possible to take advantage of this window to break into tech with a very solid background. let's go back to the software. So I'm talking about the application. Microsoft Word is an example of what? Application software. Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, which is part of what we are going to learn on the third day. They are all application. They are all application software. All right. So you see, they are all application software, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, that falls under Office collection. Office, Microsoft Office. You know what? Everybody, whether you are an advanced user of computer, is expected to understand Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and PowerPoint for presentation. Particularly if you are a student, you will need PowerPoint to do your presentation. All right. So that is just for us to understand the difference between the application software. Now, what is the takeaway here? The application software, they are software that are designed to solve a particular problem. Simple as that. Let's look at the second category of software, the system software. The system software, as the name implies, I can remove the word system and say computer software. They are personalized software, generalized software that are created for the computer operation, for the computer to, for us to ensure that the computer operates smoothly, for us to ensure that the computer resources are properly managed. You need to install what? The operating system. So the operating system, which we know today as Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows Linux, all of this falls under what? System software. These are not software that you can use to produce something tangible. They are background software that ensure that everything works well within the system. All right? I hope I am making sense. Let me just get one person unmuted and just respond to me. Sir, I'm following. Just want to get a response to know if you are following. Just one person to unmute his or herself.
I'm following.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so kindly mute back. Let's proceed.
Ify is around now.
Okay, Ify, you are lucky that you are back. Where is the Ify here? I can't see Ify here. Or did you join with another device? I can't see Ify. If you are here, can you kindly unmute yourself and talk to us? I can't see Ify here.
I think she has gone out, but she came back before. She's no longer here again.
Okay, so Ify, once he's back, I would like to have his contacts. Like I said, by January, I'm going to kickstart
a coding class, which is Python. And we are going to start with the fundamental, pure Python, not for data analytics, as in Python for application development. We're going to start with we're going to run for eight meetings, and we're going to run for 2 months. And I want to give Ify 100% scholarship to attend that training, because he happened to be the first person to join this session. So please, once Ify is around, somebody should kindly unmute and notify me so that I can pass the message across. All right, so so we are still on the system software. So the system software, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to paraphrase on it, because that is the second part that we want to talk about in this session. Remember when I started, I said our focus tonight is going to be on computer appreciation. Everything that I am teaching us since falls under computer appreciation. What am I doing? I'm only trying to appreciate computer so that you see reason to become part of what people who uses this technology. So maybe once it is 9:20, my focus will shift to this 2 hours class. Once it's 9:20, my focus will shift to operating system. And that is where I'm going to focus on the system software. But just for now, let's know system software as a software that is used to manage the entire computer and its resources. Right? The entire computer and its resources. That is the simplest definition of the system software. Right? So there is no system that can function without the operating system. And let me shock you. The reason why we have Android phone, the OS that is in that phone is called Android. So the Android that you know today, that device, that phone is described after its operating system, or let me say is described according to the type of OS that is running. So when we have a Mac computer, then that is another OS, Macintosh, and so on. All right, so now these are the major parts. These are the major parts. Now, under the system software, we can have what we call the utility, which is not here, but just to capture it. We can have the utility. The utility, remember, under the system software, that's where we have the OS. Under the OS, that is where we have the Windows. Under the Windows, that's where we have the Windows 10, the Windows 11, and so on. Then under the same system software, we have the utility software. The utility software, they are the software that we all know today as antivirus. If you have heard of antivirus, antivirus is an example of utility software. Their major work is to service the system. That is why they are called utility, like your NEPA. NEPA, they provide you service. Then that's why they are called utility bill, right? So antivirus services your system. They ensure that your system is secure. They ensure that what? They prevent your system from getting infected with malicious attack. All right. So now we have the third part of computer, which is people's wear, or sometimes it's referred to as the human wear. So this aspect deals with the human contribution. All right. So we have a role to play as human, as far as the world of computing or computer is concerned. So we have different careers that can be broken from the usage of computer. We have people that are referred to as computer operators. These are people who use this computer on a daily basis. You can find them in the bank, you can find them in offices. In fact, everybody is expected to pass through this channel. You must learn how to use the computer to an extent before you can become a professional in one of its areas. We have the administrators. These are people who administer. These are the people that, that oversees every other department, in the computer setting. We have programmers. These are people who write code, who write instruction. All the applications we are using today were written by programmers, right? These are some of the highest paid individual in the field of technology. They are making really good impact. We have instructors, people like us. So I would say that we should be more valued because we are the ones that are multiplying and extending the scale from generation to generation, right? So people who impart the knowledge, just like I'm doing now, they are referred to as what? Instructors. So there are different careers you can actually develop from the computer people's wear or the computer hard. Computer people wear, or there's another word we can use, computer people wear, or computer human wear, computer human wear, because you can come across it in some material. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I believe that I have given us background knowledge of what computer is all about. So the next time you approach the computer, you now understand all this that we have spoken about. So I'm going to give 3 minutes for asking of questions. After that, when we are done with the asking of questions, then I will now take us into the second stage or second phase of tonight's training, which is familiarizing us with the Microsoft Windows. And that is going to be practical. That is going to be practical. So what we have done so far, like I said, it is computer appreciation, trying to make us understand the computer, what it can do. Because there are so many advantages, there are a lot of things that skip in between that you can research with what I've said so far. You can go and research on the advantages of computer, the disadvantages of computer. There are a whole lot of advantages. There are what also disadvantages. But as a person, I don't see most of the disadvantages are disadvantages because there are things that you will decide not things that you find yourself doing without knowing. Okay, any question? 3 minutes for questions. If you have questions, please, the line is open for question. So while I'm waiting for questions, so this is Digital Z Hub again, an online tech training platform where we reach out to people irrespective of their location. Currently, we are training people. We have people joining from Canada, all over the places. We train on data analytics, train on cybersecurity, we train on data science, we train on programming, we train on AutoCAD. For accounting students, we have a special program called 650, where we teach you how to do systematic accounting. So we have a whole lot of program, graphic design, and the rest of them. So if there's no question, if you have question, please kindly unmute yourself and bring out a question. Let's see if there's question. So I have Chris over here. Chris over here, you are welcome. I have Nikosi, you are welcome. While I'm waiting for the question.
Thank you, sir.
I have Shalom, you are welcome. I have something like network, IP, you are welcome. I have Ify Mary. Ify, you are back. Ify, can you hear me? Ify, can you hear me?
If you know Dana.
Ify, okay. iPhone, you are welcome. You are just joining or you have been with us since. Okay, so
It's here now. She is it features about Mary?
yes, that's the person. The name that has Mary.
Yeah, now I don't know why she's there.
Okay, if you can
If
talk
you mute yourself.
I can see a device here. Madam, good evening, welcome. Xiaomi, something like that. You are welcome to Digital Z Hub. Thank you so much. I hope the class is going well with you, Ma. Can you unmute? Let's hear how you are faring with the class. You have not unmuted yet. Just click on the okay. Thank you. Though we can't hear you, but I hope you can use the message. Please, let's use the message. For those of us, can you quickly tell us how the class is going with you? Please just drop a message there, please, everybody, if you can, within a few minutes before we enter the next section. We appreciate that. Just go to the message section. Just tell us how class has been so far. Just to encourage us.
The class is going well, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, HP. Thank you. So please, tomorrow, make sure you invite your friends. It's absolutely free. At least you can testify. So this is not a gathering to advertise only. This is pure training. So please, I expect that tomorrow we should have more people to join this. Please, those of us that are here, please help us to. The link is available. The link should be made available. Just kindly share it. So let me go to the message section. Let me hear from okay, the message section. I have Chris Ovis. Okay, I am following. Thank you. Really educative. Well done, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate this comment. Please keep the comment coming. All right. So we are also grateful that we are also making impact, and we are also grateful that you joined. All right. So
Thank you, sir.
I have
something like that. Okay, Ify, you raise up your hand. Can you hear me, Ify? Ify, if you can hear me, we have been looking for you. Chizoba Ify. Ify, kindly drop your phone number. Kindly drop your phone number on the message section. Somebody will reach out to you. You have the scholarship to learn Python coding free, starting from January 2026. Drop your phone number since we cannot actually speak to you. Okay. All right, so I want to assume that we are all doing well so that we can quickly start the next session. So you are all welcome again to Digital Z Hub. All right, so at this point, we dive into what I'm going to be doing is, let me exit this and then see. Just give me a few minutes. All right, so like I said, feel free to visit our YouTube page at Digitech Z Hub. If you have not joined our WhatsApp community, once you get to the page, you see this particular link that I'm clicking on, navigating at. Just click on it. That will take you directly to our WhatsApp community. There are more free training like this that will be coming up, particularly this year we are entering by the grace of God. So there are a lot of video master classes. We upload not less than 10 to, let's say 10 video every week. So just make sure that you subscribe. That is how we can appreciate our effort. All right, so now so we shift our focus. The class will end by 10. So now we are shifting our focus from computer appreciation. Now I want to introduce us to Microsoft Windows. I want to introduce us to Microsoft Windows. So what do we mean by Microsoft Windows? So let me resume.
Okay.
Okay, you have a question?
No, I wanted to say if you have dropped her number.
Okay, please, if I have Faith, please help me to take the number.
Okay.
You can also help me to take it. Thank you very much. All right, so right.
All right.
Okay, so let's quickly proceed. Let us proceed. Right, so let me change the background so that you can see what I'll be navigating at. Right, so this aspect we are entering is very, very important for anybody that wants to really go far in the world of computing. Very important, very important. So general introduction to Microsoft Windows. Remember from our computer appreciation, we have already laid the foundation. And what is the foundation? I have already told us that there is a software called system software. And that is what we are focusing on in this session. Introduction to Microsoft Windows. So what is Microsoft? Microsoft, as we all know, is a company that was established or founded by what? Bill Gates. So if you have heard of Bill Gates, that is the man who is the owner of Microsoft Corporation. So when we say Microsoft Windows, we are talking about the operating system, the very first software that you are expected to have in your system that gives instruction that allows you to manage the entire computer resources, a software that governs the entire activities of the computer. No computer, no electronic device like phone can function without having the operating system. All right, so that is the software we want to focus on. Remember, it is not an application software. Tomorrow, I'll focus on more application software, but we want to understand this. Now, the order of you learning computer is that once you understand what computer is, like we just did now, the next thing is for you to know how to manage the computer windows. So let me break down some terms in the world of computing. Whenever an expert uses the word Windows, what does it mean? It does not mean the window you have in your room, but somehow I'll tell you how it connects to it. Window is like an intermediate interface between you and the computer. Now, for those of us that study computer science, you agree with me that the computer understands only what? Two languages, which are known as the binary what? Languages, the O's and the ones, the number, the zeros and the ones. So which means that all these English write-up have been translated with what? Translator to a language that we can understand. So from that perspective, we look at the operating system from that the Microsoft Windows has that is what? There is another background that the operator does not actually see. So the window is given to you as the GUI, which means what? Graphics what? User interface. So the whole of this can also be referred to as graphics user interface. So what is the function? It acts as what? A intermediate interface between the user of the computer and the computer itself. All right? So that's the reason why I said is the one that governs the operation of the entire computer. Very key, we understand it. So this is the user interface of the Microsoft window. Now, the user interface of the Microsoft window comprises of what we call icons. So all these pictures that we are seeing, they are called what? The Windows icon. They are called the Windows icon. All right? The Windows what? Icon. All these pictures that you are seeing, they are called Windows icon. All right? So what is an icon as a beginner? An icon is a representation. An icon is a representation of either a program, a file, or a folder. An icon is a representation of either a program, a folder, or files within your system. So which means that, and note again, an icon or icons are shortcuts. Icons are shortcuts. Icons are shortcuts. So which means that for me to have this as an icon, it means that what? It is a shortcut that will take me, or it is a representation of a whole lot of information. So that is why I started by saying that what? Icons are representation of what? Either program, folder, or file. So in a moment, I'm going to differentiate them, because as a beginner, you should be able to know how to, when you are given a system like this to operate within the user interface, you should be able to differentiate program icon, folder icon from file icon. So I'm going to explain that. But let's understand that what? Icons are what? Representation of what? Either what? Program, folder, or file. So when you see an icon like this, these are different pictures representing different information within the system. So now let's explain the category of system icon, Windows icon, categories of Windows icon, categories of Windows icon, categories of Windows icon. The entire Windows icon can be broken into three types. The entire Windows icon can be broken into three types. The first category is what we know as the program icon. The program icon. So I'm going to show us what are the icons here that represent program or that represent program as shortcuts? So in other words, if I want to access the program, how can I use the shortcuts as an icon to access it? Look at this. This is a program icon. This is a program icon. The whole of this is a program icon. What program is that? That is a browser. We're going to understand it tomorrow. That is a browser. A browser is a web application. Can you see it now? It's an application software. It's a web application. It's like a vehicle within the internet that takes you from one content to another, that takes you from one environment to another. Just like the way we have physical vehicle that takes you from one city to another. So for you to toggle around the web, you need web application like Google Chrome. You need this also is a web word application. And then as with this is another one. So all these are apps. So these are icons representing this program, which means that, remember I talked about double clicking the other time, and I also talked about clicking the other time. So this is where I will now explain it to us properly. Now, as a computer user, when you touch, look at this icon, that arrow is called what? Mouse com, which means what? Mouse communication. So anytime you move the mouse, if it doesn't move, just know that your mouse is detached from the system. If the mouse is connected and is not moving, it means that what? The window is not instructing it, because the window is the one that gives prompts the command what to each of these devices from the other class. All right. So now look at this. I just touched this, and as I touch it, you can see a background color that is attached to it that is not on this icon. So what I've done is that I have just alerted the brain, the processor, that hey, if you are giving 100% to all the icon, this very one, give more attention to it because I'm about coming in. That is the meaning of that selection. Now, but the moment I now double click means, like I explained the other time, pressing the left button twice without wasting time, within a second, like this. Once I press like this, what I have done now, I have now instructed it to open up. So in other words, that was representing the whole of this. So the whole of this interface that came out now was actually, or is represented with this. So anytime I want to see what an icon represents, all I need to do is to double click on that icon, and then it will now allow me to read the contents or whatever that icon is representing. So that has qualified the statement that says that the Windows icon represents, the icon represents what? Information. It either represents program. So we have just identified icon that represent program. This is another icon that represents program. This is another icon that represents program. This is another icon that represents program. All these are program. Now let's look at another category of icon. What else does icon represent within the window interface? Folders. So what are folders? You see this yellow icon. 1, 2, 3. All these yellow icons, they are called folder. They are called folder. They are called folder. All these yellow icons, they are called folder. They are universal across all operating systems. You see them like this. Now, what are folder? What is a folder? A folder is a sub-storage. A folder is a sub-storage, which means that what? A storage unit that you created in order to separate your file, in order to organize your information within your system. So when we talk about information management skill, is your ability to use folder to separate your information. For example, if you are employed and you are working in an office, you are expected to separate your customer's file from your admin file. So a good computer user should know how to separate his or her file using what? Folder concept. All right. So we are coming to folder management, but I just want us to know that all these, they are also called icon, under folder category. So if I want to see what a folder is holding, like I told you, to open up an icon, to see what it represents, just double click. So as I double click on this folder now, you can see that what it opens up what all this. So these are digital marketing slides that I have stored. So which means that this makes it easier for me when I am looking for, when I want to teach on digital marketing, I know the folder where I have those slides. You can see the way I have packaged them now. So it saves me time from looking here and there. So that is what folder does. Now, the third category of icon, they are icons that represent files. Remember I said icon represent three things: program, folders, and files. What are files? Files are documents. They are texts. They are documents you created with those apps. For example, now, how do you know a program that was used to create a file? Sometimes if you are versatile, you will know if you are used to this program. For example, now, this icon tells me that this file was created with what? Notepad. This is Notepad what? Icon. Now let me check another one again. This icon, this file, this is another icon representing a file. How do I know the program that was used to create it? I know that this is what? Microsoft Word what? Icon. So how do I know this is healthcare? This is another file created with another program. How do I know the program that was used? You check the icon, Excel. So when you are fast, once you see a file and you see the logo that is attached to it, that will give you an idea of the program that was used to create it. All right. Now, this is what? This is an image. This is a JPEG image. That is why it's not indicating the program. This is completely an image. So this is also an image. So after designing this with CorelDRAW or Photoshop, then I exported it, and that is why it's no longer attributed to any unique word app. So once you see icon like this, and once you hover on it and you see JPEG, you know that what is an image. So ladies and gentlemen, I have explained how you can differentiate, how you can identify program icon from folder icon and what? File icon. So that brings us to the end of what? Icon as part of the Microsoft Windows components, things you will see once your system finish booting. So, if there's no question, we take the lecture further. So the next thing I want to look at under the Windows is the folder management. But before that, let's look at Windows icon management. That's the next topic. Windows icon management. Microsoft Windows icon management. Microsoft Windows icon what? Management. All right. So there are certain skills that are required for you to handle all these icons that we have spoken about, being it program, being it folder, being it file. So I'm going to start with how do I even hide all the icons? The first skill under Windows icon management is what? How to hide the Windows icon. For example, if for any reason, I just told us that what? There could be icon that represent file. If this is your CV, for example, you know, a lot of persons like hiding their personal information. If this happened to be your CV, for example, and you know that once the computer finish booting, everybody sees what is on the desktop. So as a professional user, you hide the icon so that when the computer finish booting, nobody sees what? This information. So when you want to see them, you authorize them. It's another way of securing your sensitive information stored within your user interface. So how do we hide all these icons? Hiding this icon does not mean that you are deleting them. It simply means that at the moment you don't want them to be visible. So steps, you right click on an empty space. Now you can see I have started speaking the language of the mouse. When I say right click, I'm talking about clicking the right button on the mouse once. And once you right click is usually used to display hidden instructions. Hidden instructions. Instructions that ordinarily they are not displayed. So right click will help you to what? To pop them up. Now, for example, I am looking for a command called what? View. But there's no place where it's written. So as an expert, I should know that once I'm looking for a command and I cannot find it, I should know that if I right click, I should be able to get it, view. So from view, I will now go to where you have what? Show desktop. That's your next step. After right clicking, the next step, locate what? View. After view, then locate what? Show desktop icon. Now you can see that what? This command is checked. That's the reason why the icons are visible. The moment I tap on it, all the icons has gone. So when the computer finishes booting, this is what the user sees, and they will be thinking that they don't have deep knowledge of computer to know that once you right click, anytime, for those of us that are here, let me give you this clue. Anytime your computer finishes booting and you are expecting icon and they are now coming forth, now you will know if the computer is still booting. Once you right click and something like this comes up, it means the computer is not booting, the computer is ready. So it means that the previous user hid what? The icon. So what you do, you follow the same step, how you hide it. And what are the steps? You right click, from right click, go to that view, then you click on the word, the show desktop, and then you see all the icons will be resumed. So that skill that I just displayed now is under what? Windows icon management skill. That is one of the skills you need to have. The second skill under window icon management, the second skill is what? How to group all the icon, how to group all the Windows icon. For example, there are reasons why all this could be needed. For example, I discovered that I have someone who is not fast in computing that probably accesses my system. And for one reason or the other, the person might change the arrangement of this. And the worst part of it is that for those of us that uses personal computer, you discover that sometimes you are used to seeing or accessing a particular icon in a particular location. Once that location changes, sometimes it can take you time, you are looking for it. So for that reason, you can fix them so that such a person does not tamper with what? The rearrangement of your icon. So that is why you need that skill on how to what? To fix or to group all the icons. What are the steps on how to do that? You right click on an empty space. Where there is no icon, it's called an empty space. And then this time around, once you finish right clicking, you go to this option that says what? Auto arrange icon. Auto arrange icon. You click on it. Auto arrange icon. So once you click on it, all the icon will be arranged, but automatically they are fixed. Now let me try moving one of them and see. If I try moving this, you can see that what? It goes nowhere. Can you see it? Nowhere. Nothing. So if they try to move, nothing will move because right now you have what? Group all the icon together. You have restricted them from what? Disorganizing your icon. So now let's look at how do we undo it? How do we bring back? How do we undo it? Are you with me? So how do we undo? Let's say I want to unfix them. You follow that same step. You right click and then go to what? Right click. Remember the same step that you follow. Right click, go to view, then click on that auto arrange icon back. Now next time you try moving, the icon will move. You can see that now I'm able to what? To move the icon freely. All right. So if I want to arrange them now, if I want to arrange the icon without using the one that will fix them, then when you go to sort by, you use what? Any of this option. You right click, then go to sort by. That is, if you want to use the option that will arrange the icon without grouping them, go through sort by, use any of this, and then the icons will be arranged, and then you can still be able to what? To move them. So we are still on what? The skills you need to manage Windows icon management skill. The third skill you need as a computer user to manage your Windows icon. The third skill is how to create folder. How to create folder. How do I make folder? Now I told us that folders are used to segment your information within the system. Folders are used to segment information within the system. So how do I create folder? For example, I want to create different set of files, and I don't want to keep them in any of these folders. So how do I create a folder? Step number 1, how to create folder. You right click on an empty space. So from the drop down, you go to new. Right click on an empty space, you go to new, and then you click on folder. So once you click on folder, you are going to have the folder created, but with a default name. So you are expected to change the name of that folder to align with the intended content you want to keep inside. So there are two ways of naming folder. Is that you name folder in alignment with the content you want to save inside, or you name it off point, which means that you intentionally want to hide it from others. So there could be a folder where, for security purpose, you want to keep some of your sensitive information, but you don't want the users of that system to easily know that you are keeping such file. So you can use a funny name, not like you just create a folder, you just name it car. Meanwhile, you are saving your CV there. You just want to, deviate their attention from that. But normally, you have to use a name that describes the content. So I can say, okay, let's say webinar. So once you have typed the name of the folder, then you need to acknowledge that name. You need to find out whether Windows can accept that name or whether that name has been used by someone else. Because you cannot use the same name to save two folders as far as this interface is concerned. So how do you now find out if this name is acceptable? You click outside. Once you click outside, if you do not get any error message, it means that what? This name has not been used and is accepted. So let's try it now for you to test the computer sensitivity. Let's try creating another folder, and then I'll try giving that same name. You see what the computer will tell us. So if I say webinar, and then I click outside, guess what happened? So you can see it. So once you get an information like this, it means the computer is saying that, well, hey, this name already exists. Do you want to, as well as use another name? So you click on what? No, and continue. All right, so that is one of the skills you need to have for you to be able to manage your Windows icon or your Windows properly. Now, let's quickly look at the next skill that you need to have. How do you save file in the folder? The essence of a folder is to keep it. Now, you created a folder, and if I open it, the computer is telling me that this folder is empty. So how do I save file in this folder? How do I save things in this folder? So there are different ways you can save file in your folder. It's either you are relocating an existing file, a file you created somewhere else before, when you have not created this folder. Now you have a folder, you want to move them from those places to where you have the folder. That is one option I'm going to show. Another option is that you are working directly from an application. I think that one, we'll learn that one tomorrow. You are working directly from an application like Microsoft Word, like Excel, and you want to save things inside the folder. So the one we want to learn today is, now look at it. I have this data too. I have data sets that I've stored directly on the desktop. Now I have a folder. I want to tidy up this my desktop. So I want to relocate certain file inside this folder. So how do I save this file? You just click on it, hold down the left button on your keyboard, drag. Once it touches that folder, the file has gone in. So hold down on any of the file. Then once it touches that folder, and you can see that information that says move to webinar. Then you drop, you release your hand, you have moved down. So I can also what? Move this. So you can see how I am tidying up my what? My desktop now by, moving all these and putting them inside. Another option is that I can right click on it. You can right click on it and then select what? Copy. That is if you want to retain a copy. This one is just like you are duplicating. But if you want to delete it from here and only have a copy in your folder, you right click and select cut. So you now open the folder itself. So you now meet those things you have already dropped. Then right click inside it and then click this command and then paste. So this is one option. Is either you copy and paste or you drag it and dump it. Mind you, let me show us a secret so that you will not encounter issue. if you open a file, let me bring back those files. Look at how I'm going to bring them back. I will reduce this interface. I can click here and reduce it, then highlight all these files and then drag them out. So I've already I can just click. So I have returned them back to what? To the desktop now. Now, what I want to do here is this. Let's assume that I open this file now, because you might encounter this. You open a file and you want to drag it, it won't work. That's what I want to show us. So when a file is open, you cannot use that dragging method. It will complain that the file is open. To now tell you that go and close the file before you can bring it in. All right, but let it open so that I'll show us what it will say if I try dragging this icon inside this while the file is open. And I hope we are still doing well. Okay, so now, so as you can see here, I've opened this file. Now, if I minimize it and I try dragging it inside here, you will get an error like this. You get an error. And if you read through, you understand what it says. Say, the action cannot be completed because the file is open in a cell. So when you see information like this, you know that, oh, the file is open. So just go there and close it. And then after closing it, you can go ahead and what? Drag it. All right. I think I have some message. Let me see what's this message. Oh, if I did the previous one. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, so we are still on what? Skills that you need for you to manage your Microsoft window. We've talked about how to hide the icon. We have talked about how to create folder. Now let's look at how to, let me arrange the icon bar quickly. Let's look at how to rename a folder. That's the next skill. Quickly, how to rename a folder is part of the skills you need to have as a window user. Now, for example, let me bring this folder now. Let me bring this folder out. Let me focus on it. You have created a folder. As at the time of creating it, you have given it a particular name. It now occurred to you that, that name does not align. How do I change it to another name? How do I change it? So the next thing you are going to do is that you click on that folder again, your steps, right-click on the folder you want to rename. Now, unfortunately, you can't see the option here. You go to what? Show more option. For show more option, you go to what? Rename. All right. So from rename, it will not turn the description to what? Editing mode. Then you cannot type. So let's say what I want is that I want to add 3 to it. And then you click outside to acknowledge it. So that is how to simply what? Rename a folder. That is how you can rename your folder. All right. So let's get that noted. So just know that there are times you can create folder and then there might be need for you to rename the folder. They can even ask you to change the name of a folder. All right. Maybe the initial staff has left. Now you have another staff employed and the folder was named after that person's name. There is need for you to change it. So that is for that. Now, the next thing is another skill you need to have is how to pin the program icon on the taskbar. That is the next skill you need to have. How to pin a program icon on the taskbar. That takes us to what is a taskbar? You see the whole of this section that I'm navigating at, the down part where you have all these programs. They are called, the whole of this place is called taskbar. Taskbar. All the tasks you are performing, they are the program you are currently running, the active program, their icon will be what projected here. So for any reason, if I don't want to be going through this, maybe I want to open Microsoft Word, for example, I have to go to start, like we are going to know tomorrow, and then I will now come to Word here before I access Microsoft Word. So I just want to program the Microsoft Word icon here. It could be any program. so that next time I want to open Microsoft Word, I don't have to go through the long process. I will just click on the icon where I have WhatsApp icon here. So how do I pin it here? The first step is that you go through the start, then you can see it here. Right click on it. Once you right click on that program icon, you are going to see pin toward taskbar. Once you click, you see that word henceforth Microsoft Word icon is here. So whenever I want to access it, there is no point of me going through the process of clicking on start. If I can't find it here, I will now go to all app. I will now start searching it here. That is a long process. Just pin it here, and then the next time you want to access it, just come and click, and then it opens up. So the next thing is that how do we now remove it? If, for example, I have more often programs, so I have pinned a lot of programs here that I no longer have space. So I want to remove some. So how do I remove it now? How do I unpin it? That is the next key. How to, I believe we got that, how to pin program icon on the taskbar. I say you right click on the program. If you can find it on the interface, you right click on it. If you cannot find it, go to start. Once you can locate it, right click on it, select word, pin. Now, how do you now remove it? If I want to unpin the Microsoft Word that I initially pinned, how do I remove it? To remove it, what I'm going to do is very simple. So you just right click on it, and then you select word, unpin from taskbar, and then it goes off. So you should know how to do all these things. These are the basic things you should know as a computer user. The benefit of this whole class is that when you start learning advanced program, you see the speed at which you'll be learning. Because now the fear has been removed, because the issue some of our people have is that when they are learning big program and nobody has taught them all these basics, you see them afraid of touching things because their confidence level is equivalent to 0. So lecture like this will give you the confidence because you are now able to play around. So let's look at another skill. I think this is the 4th one. I know Madam is writing. This should be the 4th one. Madam, is it the 4th one? The skills required to manage your Windows. Is it the 4th one or the 3rd one? I know I've given us about 3. The first one is how to hide the Windows icon. The second one is how to create a folder. The third one is I think I mentioned how to rename a folder, how to pin. It is the 5th one. So the 5th one is how to change the user's background. How to change the user's background. I think this one will now lead us to the end of this section. I think I've really tried to cover what I planned. Like I said, the video will be made available via our WhatsApp platform. So make sure that if you are not in that WhatsApp, please kindly drop your number in the message section so that as soon as I end the class, I will add you to the group. If you are not there, please make sure that you drop your number so that you can get more updates. More free trainings are on the way. Make sure you don't miss out. Okay, so the last one we want to look at, because we have to close by 10, I have another class tomorrow morning where I'll be teaching Microsoft Excel VBA. So if you are interested, you chat me on, I think you can chat me directly on the +234706966. or you drop the message there that you are interested to join. Though it's a master class, but because you have attended this class, I can give you an unbelievable discount to continue that class. The class usually hold every Saturday from the hour of 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Tomorrow morning. It's going to be on Excel, Advanced Excel. That is VBA, where you create automatic system. I believe you must have seen when you enter supermarket, you enter a value in one cell, the value with the dot itself in another cell, all those kind of things. Those are the things I will be focusing on. All right, so let's look at the last the last topic for tonight under Microsoft Windows, management skill needed. The next one is how to change the Windows, the user's background. Now you can see the current background I'm having. Look at the background of this window. And let me tell you the reason why you should know how to do this. There are times that the background that is added to the system that is going to operate might be difficult, might make it difficult for you to see your icon. There's a background I will use now. You will find it difficult to locate this icon. The background will be reflecting. So you must know how to change the background. Once you see that the background is not really allowing you to see your Windows icon, you change it. You can even personalize. You can use your own personal picture as the background so that once anybody sees the laptop, you know, oh, this laptop belongs to you. So that is what we want to learn now as the last topic. All right, so now how do we go about that? Remember the topic, how to change the window user's background color. So let me start with using the default background. There are some backgrounds that came with the installation of the Windows that you can take advantage of before you use your own. So you right click on an empty space, then you go to personalize. Right click on an empty space, and then you go to personalize. All right. Right click on an empty space, you go to what? Personalize. Now you see all these ones, they are default. These are background that came with the Microsoft Windows installation. So anyone I want, I will just click on it. The moment I click and I minimize, because I'm still coming back, you discover that what? We should have changed it. Let me see. Good. So the background have changed. All right. Now I can go back there and say, okay, let me bring it back. Let me bring it back. Let me go through this again to call it back faster. I can say, okay, I want to use this one. I click and give it some time. It will also. So if you go back there now, you discover that what? It has updated. So sometimes this is what they use to cajole us when we want to buy system. When you go to all these vendors, they already know that some JJC, they usually get carried away with fancy background. They will go and download my background, a system that is very low in configuration, because you are seeing background, you say, I like this system. Just because you don't know that it's just background that can be changed. All right. So now I want to use my own picture. Let's assume that I want to use this picture. I want to use this picture. This can be my personal picture. It can be your picture. And you want to use it as the Windows background. So how do you use it? You right click and then you go to that same personalize. When you get to the personalize, you don't go with this. You select what? Background. Then once you click here, it will not allow you to what? To browse. Browsing means what? What you are looking for is not here. You want to pick it from somewhere. So click on the browse, and then you already know where the picture is. The picture is on desktop. I'll go to desktop, and then I'll look for that name. I think Digitech piece. So look for it. Once we are on desktop, look for it. Do I have it here? So you can search it out if you are sure that you're there. Let's see. DG piece. Let me confirm again. Let me confirm. I think I have it here. Yeah, DigiPix. DigiPix. So I should have it there. Let me go back again. Personalize. Background. Browse. Desktop. Desktop. DG piece. Okay, so it's possible that let me just go to picture and get. Let me see if I can get picture from somewhere else. So the window is here to update it probably. Let me see. I know I have pictures somewhere else that I can easily get. Let me try and get pictures. No, I have pictures. I think it's from the system. Let me check. The window is not updating, but once you see the picture, you click on it. I think once I restart the system, it will initialize. So the picture is actually on the desktop. You can see it here, but as we are picking desktop, it's not acknowledging. So there's something that is processing. So once I restart the system, I should be able to see it. So there's a process that is going on. Let me try again. Let me try open it again. Personalize. Browse. Okay, so this was the issue. You can see that here it was set on slideshow, so I'll change it to picture. So once I change it to picture so that you can see pictures, so if I browse now, I should be able to see what we are looking for. So if I go down now, you can see that this is a picture we're looking for. So I'll just click on choose picture. And then by the time I go back, you see that the picture is now the background. So there are other things I can do there. I can, I can change the way the picture fills the background by coming to, let me see if I have that option here. The way it's filled the background, I can set it from option is not here. Let me check. So that is actually called positioning. So most time you can see it. You can see position. Once you can see it, you'll be able to. Okay, so this is it here, where you have choose a fit for your desktop image. Now you can see that that picture was covering the entire interface. So if I come here now and select tile, what will happen is that it will duplicate it. Let's see what happened. So it will duplicate it if the image is so small. So the image is big. That is why it did not duplicate. So if you're using a very small image, it will duplicate it and use it to fill the entire space. So that is just for you to know how to control the positioning of it. So you can, once you click on the picture, let's go to this. Once you click on the picture, you're going to see the option. So we have stretch in case it's not filling the entire place. You stretch it so that you cover. And then you have fit, which the one that will also fit. So all these are different ways you can see fit. So fit now, the image is no longer covering the entire interface. So this is exactly what I was saying. So if I go back now and see, I've changed it to click on the go back there and select. Look, I have the picture now. Browse. I want to look for a very small picture so that you see what I'm talking about. Let me use this. Good. And then let me click on it and try that fitting if the option comes. Let's even check first whether we have it or not. It has not applied. So you click OK. Let me browse the picture. So let's say I set it on tile. Let me set it on tile and then browse the picture, that small picture. I just want us to look at how it will look like if you choose a very small picture. Choose a very small picture. Where was I picking my from? I think it's from picture. Picture, okay, from picture. So if I click, okay, so this is exactly what I'm saying. So you can see the way they duplicated it. Just because the picture is so small that the other one was big enough. So that is style if you want it to spread. So if I change it from this to stretch, to now stretch it and allow only one to fill the entire space. So ladies and gentlemen, this is where we draw the curtain. And I believe that we have really covered much in this section. So you can unmute yourself if you have any comments about this class. So I think let me just go over you guys one after the other. Any comments? Anybody with any comments with what we have learned so far? Please kindly unmute and let's hear from you before we end the class. Or you have question? Kindly unmute. Any comment? Any comment from any of you? While I'm waiting for that, make sure that tomorrow, the same time, 8 p.m., we shall be live for Microsoft Word. You must not miss it. These are opportunity. Any comments? If you don't want to speak, you can use the, okay, I think Mrs. Queen, you can unmute yourself if you want to say something. Just unmute yourself. There is an audio icon there that you click to unmute yourself. There's an audio icon that you can click to actually unmute yourself. Have you been able to see it? Once you click, I think it's very close to the video icon. It's very close to the video icon. There's an icon there. You can just click. You're actually trying to unmute, but are you clicking on it? Okay, I think you have done it. Yes. But we cannot hear you, Ma. We cannot hear you. You are speaking, but that's saying your audio is not coming out. Just off it again. Okay, go ahead. Wow. Cannot see here. Can anybody hear her?
No.
Okay, I guess she's having issue with her audio, but you can hear us. Okay, can you speak now? You can hear us, but we cannot hear you. I believe it's from your end. It's from your end. Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Okay, your question. Go ahead, your question while we are waiting.
It's concerning the changing of background.
Okay.
If in the changing of background, they don't have the specific background you're looking for, how can you browse it? Like I click browse, but it's taking me to my pictures. I don't want to use my pictures.
Okay, so if I may get you right, you don't have the particular background and you want to sort it out from the internet,
Exactly.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah, make sure that you join tomorrow's session. I'm going to really do much of this. So just open browser. Let's say you need picture about tech. Just type tech. And once you type tech, you go to picture. Click on picture. You see a lot of pictures. So let's say I want to use this picture. Just right click on it. Select save image as. Then you choose where you want to keep it. Let's say desktop. Let me save it as make sure that you give it a unique name. Then once you have done that, you go back to the same desktop, right click, then select personalize. Then remember the name you use. Remember that name. So I go to background. and then select browse, then pick it up from the desktop, click on the desktop, just type the name here. I think I hope I'll be able to get something equivalent to it. Yes, and then click on it and then choose. I hope I have answered your question. I go back now.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Any other question, please? I want to beg us to invite our friends not to miss tomorrow's session. And for those, your friends that missed this session, as soon as you get the link, please send it to them to go through it in order to also prepare them for tomorrow's session, because this will really assist you to understand what we'll be doing tomorrow. It's quite unfortunate that Mrs. Ujowa could not speak to us. I would have loved to hear from her, because if she joins tomorrow, I'll give her scholarship. I'll give her if she wants to, because I can see she was the only person that is writing. She's actually encouraging me since she has been writing. The rest of you, I don't know whether you are writing or because you decided to hide your face. So I don't know. So she has been writing. She's the reason why I calm down to be writing the step, because I know that somebody is writing. We are encouraged more. So chat me up on WhatsApp so that we can since you couldn't hear me. I believe you have my WhatsApp number. Are you in the Digital Z? Okay, you have the number, right? Okay. So just do a voice note of what you wanted to say. If you to appreciate, just do a voice note and drop it there, or chat me up, and then we continue the conversation. So thank you very much, everyone. Let me allow us. It's late already. So see you guys tomorrow. Please go your way and invite your friend. Tomorrow, I want this place to be packed with a lot of persons. Please send a link to people. Microsoft Word will be killed and buried tomorrow. Make sure that you do not miss it. All right? Bye for now. We are grateful.